steps are steep.
Questions?
Now that you had a chance to evaluate the scrimmage of the night, what did you think about your defense?
You know, good and bad. I mean, like any scrimmage, it's never, you know, when you watch the film, it's never as good as you thought it was on the field, never as bad. I mean, there's some positives. I mean, we got some good pressure on the quarterback. We did a good job for the most part on third down. Got off to a little slow start in the scrimmage. You know, it's really been kind of the same story throughout camp. Good pressure on the quarterback, decent job stopping the run. And if anything at all, we've just, you know, our offense is very explosive offense, and occasionally they'll make an explosive play, and we just have to minimize those. And when we minimize those, you know, we're pretty good.
The explosive plays and stuff, is it down the field stuff? You know,
well, I mean, there's all kinds of different ones. You know, this week we misfit one run that split us for quite a good gain. They threw a bubble screen and circled the defense, and then a couple, you know, we got them into third and longs, and they converted a couple times on plays, you know, where we had guys covered, and the offensive player made a good play, or Fitz made a good throw, and those type of things. But there was real good give and take, and there's a lot of things to clean up, and fortunately we still have some time to do that.
How have the guys kind of just grasped your defense? Do you feel like they get a good, you know, I guess, good handle on it right now?
Yeah, very good. You know, and again, I've said this before, you really try to tailor the scheme to what you think the skills of the players can do, and we've tried to do that, and we're pretty aggressive, and we've got a pretty good group, you know, up front. You know, but we have more depth and better players in the secondary than maybe we're given credit for at times, and you know, these guys have bought into that, and they're really, there's tremendous football intelligence on the group, especially the guys who have good experience, the McLarens, the Abrams, the Chris Rayfords, the Errol, Willie, those guys, and Leo, those guys do a good job communicating, and our offense presents us, you know, quite a few challenges. And Joe says this all the time, and as the defense coordinator, this isn't necessarily how you think, but you know, when there's some give and take, and the offense has some success and the defense has some success, that's pretty good. And they challenge us a lot, and we challenge them a lot, I think. And there's been some good give and take throughout the course of camp, and it's really been one of the best camps I've been a part of.
What do you like about that cornerback group that you got?
Yeah, I think Jamal Peters and Cam have done an outstanding job this camp. I mean, they've really, you know, we're through 14 practices now, and we have almost 30 interceptions as a group. You know, Coach tracks turnovers and explosive plays each day, and you know, those guys have really, you know, they're more than just a cover corner. They're more than just a guy who can play bump and run man. You know, they play our trap techniques, they play our cloud techniques, they play our you know, outside thirds, or they're pretty good blitzers. So they bring more to the party than just, you know, a one-trick pony type deal. And then I think Smitherman's taken the next step and really kind of emerged as probably that third corner, and Tyler Williams is in pursuit. You know, both those guys, Tyler specifically, you know, lacks the experience of those other guys, but I'm very, very confident in those guys.
Looking at your group, you have McLaurin and you have Abram, who've got a lot of experience, but do you feel good about the guys behind them?
Yes. You know, we've Chris Rayford's gone back and forth between safety and corner this camp, and you know, he's a good corner and he's got great game experience there. So the last couple of weeks we tried him at safety, and he's provided some depth and really maturity, and done a good job in there. Stephen Adegoke and CJ Morgan have also had really good camps. You know, CJ's got numerous interceptions, and Stephen's, you know, kid who this summer we were rewarded with a scholarship, and you know, he embodies, you know, everything that you like to coach. He's a good man and a good student and a good player, and really kind of in some ways a unique leader. Maybe not necessarily on the field, but off the field. He's got a nice feel for the pulse of the team. And then at the nickel position, I think Brian Cole, Capri Landers, and Marcus Murphy have all played well, and that's probably the order right now. I mean, Cole has had a pretty solid camp. Capri's steady, you know, not spectacular. You know, he's literally the guy who doesn't do anything extraordinary, but does the ordinary things really well. And Marcus Murphy's a unique athlete. He just needs experience. When he gains, last few days probably have been some of his better days.
How close are you to set your depth chart?
Something drastic would have to, it's probably said, something drastic would have to happen in order to change right now. I mean, I think we've all got a pretty good idea through however many days of camp it's been in 2 major scrimmages as to who the guys are and aren't. Pretty healthy. And like I said to them today, you could just see they've worked really hard. You can see that it's very, very few mental errors or missed assignments. You know, it's more kind of some days like today, 2-a-day legs catching up to you. You're in the right position. You know, you just might not make the play. So as Coach Moorhead, backs off, heading into game week preparation, they'll get their legs back. And I think, the positive is, Stephen F. Austin, it's an opening game. Opening games are always a mystery to a certain extent, and you just got to play with great fundamentals and techniques, and it's all about tackling, ball security, and special teams. But what we've observed of Stephen F. Austin is they have some similarities to our offense, at least formationally and personnel-wise, the personnel groupings that they use. So there should be some carryover from camp.
Coach said that the scrimmage, or the kind of scrimmage you're having this Wednesday, will be a couple of 15-minute periods, as much as situational.
Yeah.
But how much of that will be you yourself, since you're going to work from the press box, getting the coordination?
No, that's a great point. That's you may not be asking this question, but I think you are. I mean, AJ Jackson, one of our quality control assistants, is really the only person on the staff that I've actually worked with previously. So just like any organization, just like any team, just like anything, it's getting familiar with how we operate. So we took the next step this past week. We had headphones on, but we were all on the field. This week we'll be in the box. I mean, it's little things, and coach is going to go through all those things, from the meetings of the night before the game to the team meal to how we do those type of things. There's still a process of getting to know how things operate. I'm a veteran coach, and I've coached in a lot of different places with a lot of different head coaches who do it different ways. So I'm a 52-year-old man. So I mean that's a transition sometimes for us. Now it's the same for kids too. So I think that's something that the players are anxious about, to see how that's going to work. The sideline, the game day operation, and the game week preparation, things like that.
You have a reputation as a pretty aggressive defensive coordinator, but when you have a D-line like this, does that give you the opportunity to do a little bit more with coverage and just let that front four handle getting pressure on the quarterback?
Yeah, I suppose it could. Yeah, I mean, I think, I think it does, but I think I think these kids really enjoy being cutting edge. I think these guys enjoy, again, it all depends. Like on early downs, the focus is on, stopping the run and, forcing teams to, we're not going to let you run on early downs. But on third down, all we talk about, and whether it's a four-man rush, whatever it is making the quarterback and the play caller uncomfortable. That's what I want to do. I mean, the days of just rushing four and playing a nice little coverage right there and catch it, nobody's doing that anymore. I mean, we can't do that. Nobody can do that. But it is nice, whether we're blitzing or whether we're rushing four, the fact that you have Montez Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons up front, the fact that you got Gary Green up front, and he's a guy who can do a lot of different things, the fact that you got Corey Thomas, who batted a ball and intercepted it today and tips a hell of a lot of passes, the fact that you got depth up front and can keep guys fresh, so come late in the game and come critical third downs, you can have your best players on the field for what the situation calls for.
You've got a lot of defenses before that defensive line that you're talking about there. Is it as, where does it rank, I guess, with all the lines that you've had through the years?
They're good. They're really good. I mean, to be determined, obviously, but the thing, Bake does a great job with them, and they practice hard, and they compete hard. It's probably as deep a group, especially at the defensive end, as I've ever observed. I mean, we can run a lot of DNs in the game, and there may not be enough snaps. It's not intramurals, and it's not Pop Warner football where it's going to be even reps. We got to play our best players, but when you got guys like Tez, you got Gary, you got Chauncey, you got Kobe, got Marquise. You got a lot of guys there who are really, really talented players, and so we got to find a way to get them their touches. And again, it's not my job to make everybody. Not everybody's gonna be perfectly happy and whatnot. And 1 week, one guy might be good. The next week, the next guy might be good. In 2015, my last year at Penn State, we led the country in sacks per game, and 3 of those guys, D linemen, were drafted in the first 2 rounds of the draft. So, I think we have a good idea as to how to utilize the tools that we have.